In this video, I'm going to walk you through how I built this brand using AI and how I professionally finished it in Illustrator. So this is the product, Mute. And what's interesting about it is it's not really being positioned as just another pair of headphones. It's more like an adaptive audio system, something that lets you move between the different states of sound depending on which one you actually need in the moment. And that's what made the brief so interesting straight away, because the problem wasn't really make this look cool, it was more how do we brand a product that gives people more control over their environment. Because right now most headphones force you into one mode. You're either fully shut off from everything around you or you're just passively listening. So there's not much in between. There's no real sense of control, no sense that the product is adapting to you. So the shift was, this isn't just about audio performance, it's about control over sound, control over focus, control over what comes in and what gets shut out. And that's where the idea started to move away from headphones in the traditional sense and more towards the idea of a personal sound environment system. Something that lets you move between clarity, connection and isolation, depending on what you're doing, how you're feeling, or what you need from the world around you. But once that clicked, the naming got a lot clearer. I really wanted to make sure the logo wasn't just nice looking, I wanted it to hit the brief. So the three ideas I kept coming back to were control, isolation and connection. So starting with control, that's why the mark has this slightly button-like feel to it. So this was completely deliberate. I wanted it to feel like something tactile, something you press, almost like you're actively controlling your own environment. It gives the mark a sense of function, not just decoration. It feels more like an interface, which made sense for the product because it's really about switching states and choosing how you engage with sound. Then the minimalism comes in through the isolation side of the brief. And for me, that was about the feeling of muting the world, stripping things back, reducing visual noise, creating space. So rather than overcomplicating the identity, I wanted it to feel clean, controlled, and yet quiet. So then the connection side comes through in the supporting elements, because the product's not just about shutting everything out, it's also about choosing when to connect with people, with your surroundings and obviously music as well, as there's a lot of connection within music, how it makes you feel, something you can relate to, etc. So even though the name is Mute, the brand itself isn't really about silence alone, it's about having the choice between silence and connection, and that balance was important to keep in the visuals. So the process started quite loosely with the keywords control, signal and sound, connection and isolation, then just translating those into images or forms I could actually work with. This meant looking at waveforms, symbols, interaction cues, and different ways of suggesting sound without doing the obvious headphone icon. So then I went into Illustrator, and this is where it gets messy. Lots of versions, lots of adjustments, different mark ideas, different relationships between the icon and the word mark, just working through it all until it stops feeling forced and starts feeling resolved. And eventually it got to this point where it felt like a proper system rather than just one logo. Main logo, a simplified mark, and a more flexible version that can move around depending on the application. So then after that, it was about pressure testing it in the real world, seeing how it behaves on packaging and whether it can actually feel believable as a product brand, not just something that works on an artboard. And then colour became the final piece of the puzzle. I explored a lot of different directions here. This lime green with black just felt stronger. It felt more disruptive, more ownable, more immediate, and in a market where so much of this kind of product lives in blacks, greys, silvers and fairly predictable tech colours, this actually has presence. So that's where it landed, a full identity system built using AI as part of the ideation process, then refined properly in Illustrator and shaped around an actual core of the brief, rather than just making something that looks futuristic. So what do you think? Did I actually hit the brief? Please leave a comment and subscribe to the channel.